Good morning. How are we all today? I hope that you're feeling well. I am feeling so inspired. I just wanted to share with you what I've been doing over the last few days, and I hope that this helps you. So, the intention behind today's podcast is all around increasing your vibration and becoming more aligned to your message. I am literally tingling from head to toe. I'm covered in pins and needles. And that's because the last few days, so what day are we on today? So we're on Wednesday. So ever since Monday, I have been getting up early and jumping on a Zoom call with one of my friends. And we have been going through a morning routine. And it's a really simple routine that we have in place. We jump on and we have a little chat to begin with, just about things that we're thinking about and how we're feeling, and the inspiration that we've had or what we experienced the day before. And then we follow a really simple process where for 5 minutes we just brain dump. And this was totally inspired by basically what my friend Stacey had already been doing herself. And then what she wanted to do was she wanted to do this with somebody. So this is her routine that I am sharing, and it's evolving and it's just becoming life changing. So we set an alarm, or Stacey sets an alarm for 5 minutes. And for 5 minutes, we just write everything that is on our mind in that moment down in a pad, on a piece of paper. And then once we have finished doing that, I share my screen and we listen to 5 minutes of meditation. Just 5 minutes, just allow ourselves to be still and allow any inspiration to come through. And then I kind of jot down anything that came through in the meditation. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything at all. It's just that being still. I cannot explain to you how much that just changes your entire state of being. And then following that, we put on for 10 minutes, we write down what we're grateful for. And the suggestion from Stacey was to listen to Abraham Hicks' Morning Rampage. So I find a Morning Rampage and we just sit and we write for 10 minutes, free writing, non-stop, what we're grateful for. I mean, I'll write 2 pages of gratitude. And during that time, so much inspiration comes through. Today, as I say, I'm 3 days in and I am right now, my vibration feels electric. It's the only way that I can describe it. It feels electric. All of a sudden, I feel that I need to be more careful, even more so, with what I am writing down, what I am thinking, what I am feeling, what I am saying, because I can physically feel that I have the power to be able to create that. The energy, the electricity that I have running through my fingertips, through my face, through my entire body right now, I know will create things. And it's been proven to me even over the last couple of days. Yesterday morning, I was kind of talking about my career and really what I wanted to achieve and things that didn't feel necessarily in alignment with me in that moment. And then there was 2 things that happened during the course of the day that actually shone a light on what I was saying and said, no, hold on a minute, you was on the right path and you need to continue with that because people need you to be on that path to help them. And I won't go into too much details because it's other people's personal lives that we're talking about here as well, but it's just super interesting that this is happening in so fast. So first of all, I just wanted to share that with you, because you have to kind of experience it yourself to be able to appreciate how much this actually works. The second thing that I want to share with you is that I ordered this book, again recommended by my friend Stacey. I will totally get her on a podcast at some point because she's just amazing. And it's a P. Louise diary. Now, this P. Louise diary is called "I'm a Goal Getter. Become the CEO of Your Own Life." Now, I would never have given this book a second look if it wasn't for the fact that my friend Stacey showed me over Zoom how big this book was to begin with. But the content of this is quite extraordinary. For the last 5 years of my life, when I've been really enthralled in like personal development, you know, there are so many things that you kind of need to get your head into, the consistency and the focus, and it can be really overwhelming. So and I would love to interview P. Louise at some point as well, because I just feel like she's an absolutely incredible woman. So I will reach out to her as well. But it basically takes you through exactly what you need to do in each section of your life: 12 months goals, three-year goals, 5-year goals. It explains to you how to write them. I'm barely through the first part of the book, so I know there's so much more in there. It gives you the opportunity to write down what your daily goals are going to be, like how you're going to get yourself closer to where it is you want to be. There's a calendar with 365 days on, and you tick off when you've done all of the tasks that you've set for yourself that day. So you can physically see where you're being consistent. This, when it arrived, I knew that it was going to change my life, and it enabled me to think about things yesterday. So the biggest thing for me has been actually around around money. Now, I made a massive money breakthrough, which I spoke about in one of my podcasts before last year, where I realized that actually I had made an emotional attachment to money when I was a child that basically made me feel that I was a waste of money. And so for all my life, every time I have ever made money or received money, I have got rid of it faster than you can ever get rid of money. And when I actually made that connection between actually money in my bank actually means lives that I've helped, in whatever way. Guys, like, I have a part-time job that I work, that I took up last year during lockdown because I felt that I needed what's the word, more scheduled time. So I needed something that was going to force me to do my own stuff in the time that I had, and not just kind of leave it. So when you know you've got set working hours, you can fit everything around it. So I needed structure. That's what I was thinking of. I needed structure. And then I also was concerned about whether or not my partner was going to be able to still work. And I know that he actually finds it difficult. He's not very, he's not like, we're very different in the sense that for me, I absolutely freaking love interviews. I love interviews. I love promoting myself. I love, you know, being able to see a vision that a company has or that a person has, and being able to tell them why I fit that and how I can do exactly what it is that they need me to do in whatever industry it actually is. Whereas something like that makes my partner want to literally crawl inside himself. He stayed in a job that he hated for a really long time because he didn't want to go through an interview process again. That made him very anxious. He actually now works for himself, but I didn't know whether or not he was going to be able to work. And so I decided to take on an extra job for structure, because I also didn't want to, and this is not me saying that I think that it's a bad thing, but I have personal reasons for why I didn't want to keep depending on the government to provide me with an income. So, you know, with furlough and everything like that. So I decided that I also wanted to be responsible for the money that I was bringing in, rather than becoming dependent on somebody giving me money. Yeah, and there's many reasons behind that. And also because I wanted to take the pressure off of Dave, and I wanted to make sure that we was one step ahead. So I took up a part-time job. And even in that job, right, I'm essentially a call center agent. But I know that when I get paid, the money that's in my bank is a direct relation to the people that I've helped, whether it's the company that I've been taking calls for, whether it's the people that I've actually booked jobs in for to help them with their heating and their electrics and things like that. The connection that I make with money now is that money in my bank is a direct reflection of the lives that I have impacted. Same with my network marketing business. I know that the money that I receive is in direct correlation with the people's lives that I've impacted, that I've helped them through the products that I've connected them to, that I've helped them through the business that I've connected them to. So making that switch really helped me see my money differently. And because of that, it means that I now don't waste my money. I only ever invest my money. I invest it in myself, or I invest it in tangible assets like gold and silver. Started investing in crypto as well. I kind of have no idea what I'm doing with that, but it's something that I felt pulled to do. So I made that kind of switch. But what I realized through working through the very, very, very first part of this absolutely massive book, and for those of you that are actually watching my video, I'm actually showing the book now, just so you know, actually, on a bit of a side note, I'm recording all of my podcasts on a video as well. The only way that you can access these videos is by going onto my website, which you can find in the link tree in my bio on Instagram, Soul Mood Podcast. They're totally free. And you just basically pop in your email address and create a password so you have access to them. The reason why I also do that is because I've started recording my own blog on my website, but it's very personal. It's actually my journal, which I'm not doing every single day, but when I am writing something, it's very personal. And I just felt like it shouldn't just be there for everybody to see. Like if you are interested in kind of hearing my thoughts or following my journey, then I've set it up in such a way that it's kind of like access only, but they're totally free to basically watch the videos. And it's nice actually just to put a face to the name. You'll see me right now, I'm sat in my pajamas, in my dressing gown, so no makeup on. Sometimes I'll be ready, sometimes I'm not, but it's like 10 to 8 and I've been up since like 5:30. And yeah, so I wasn't going to get myself all dolled up. And it's also nice to actually see a real human. I think, with the way that social media is, like, there's no fakeness with me, and I want you to be a part of that, really, and see me as your friend and somebody, normal that you can listen to and talk to. But anyway, I digress. So if you want to check that out, go to Soul Mood Podcast on Instagram, go to my link tree, and you can sign up on there and get the access to my videos. So what was I saying? So in the very, very first part of the book, I was going through the part about wealth, and she speaks about basically, what it is that you are making that money for. And all of a sudden I realized, what am I making money for? And I wonder how many of you actually feel the same. Why are you making money? Are you just making money to put food on the table and pay your bills? We was not put on this earth to just pay bills, survive and die. So what are you going to use your money for? And I started thinking, well, if I continue to put 20% of my salary away in investments every single month, in 5 years' time, with the goals that I'm setting myself each year with regards to income and interest and things like that, like, I could be in a position where in 5 years' time I could have paid off a big chunk of the mortgage, like half of the mortgage. That'd be amazing. Like, we've got a mortgage that's over 20 odd years. I don't know how many years it is actually, to tell the truth, but imagine being able to pay that off in like 10. I mean, right now I'm going to be 35 years old this year, and that means in 5 years' time I'm going to be 40. If I'm going to be 40 in 5 years' time, I don't want to be paying off my mortgage until I'm like in my 60s. I've got so many dreams and aspirations. This year, one of my biggest goals is to be able to buy a camper van so that we can choose to go traveling whenever we want and just enjoy nature and just and choose where we end up. In fact, when I started really thinking about what I could do if I was making the level of income that I'm setting myself as a target, and continuing to invest every single month, and continuing to put money aside every single month so I can pay my tax and stuff like that, I could pay off all my debt within 3 years' time. I could have paid off all my debt in 3 years' time, have a camper van, and have enough money to pay the mortgage and the bills for a whole year. So my partner wouldn't even have to work for a whole year. So in 3 years' time, we could be in a position where for a year we could just enjoy each other's company and explore. That gives me chills. And I had never thought about those sorts of things before I sat down to that book. So thank you to P. Louise for creating that. But also, and thank you to Stacey for putting it out there that you wanted to jump on board together and do our Zooms in the morning, because I'm just so inspired, and I just really wanted to share that with you all, because I feel that we all kind of go through life just without purpose. And for such a long time, I was in my masculine energy. I had something to prove. It's like wounded inner child. And, I felt like I constantly had something to prove, and I had to make all this money and had to do all these things. And I've realized over the last 3 days, like, my energy is so fragmented. For years, people have said, I can't keep up with you. You're always doing, this, that, and the other. And, it's exhausting just watching you. And I used to think to myself, how can you say that? Like, I'm working towards my dreams. I'm so inspired. Like, maybe you're not doing enough. That was literally the headspace that I was in. And yesterday, during my second meditation, I just had this download. You're fragmented, your energy's all over the place. What do you want to do? What do you want to bring to people? What's your message? And then today, I was like, my life was always chaotic. And what the last year did was made me go inwards. Now, when I look at who I'm drawn to as people, as content, it's anyone that makes me feel safe. It's stillness. That's why I love meditation so much. It brings me that stillness. During my meditation today, I literally wanted to cry. I felt my heart chakra totally open. I felt vulnerable for the first time in a really long time, because I'd owned my vulnerability. But had I owned my vulnerability, or had I actually just been masking it with ambition? Still being vulnerable, talking to people, sharing too much information, but masking my vulnerability with ambition. And yeah, today I realized, my life was really chaotic, and I turned so many corners, and I found peace within myself. And I have turned my mess into my message. If I look for safety and calmness in my partner, he's total opposite to me. He's so laid back. The likes of Russell Brand, I mean, you look at him, he was so chaotic. Look at how still he is now. The peace that he brings me when I listen to him, when I listen to, I resonate with him so much. The women that I see that are so in tune and fluid, and I describe them as like water. They are so, and the fact that when I go to the sea to feel calm, to be still, I seek that. And if I seek that serenity, if I seek that stillness, I can embody that stillness. I can embody that message to be able to teach you all that you don't have to continue self-sabotaging, that you don't need to get wrapped up in noise, that you can be the stillness, that you don't need to seek that anywhere else, that you can find that in yourself. And just saying that right now, like literally I am vibrating, because I know that that's my message. I know that there's a reason why I've always been pulled to holistic health. I know that there's a reason that when I was 12 years old, I had books on aromatherapy and reflexology. I know that there's a reason why I wanted to be a beauty therapist when I left school. But my divine masculine kicked in. And when I went to the college and told them about how, I wanted to have my own salon, and, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. And they said, well, you do realize that, you have to start off at the bottom. You have to clean stuff. You have to work your way up. And do you really want that? Like, look at your grades. Do you really want that? And my divine masculine kicked in, and I was like, no, I don't want this. No, thank you. I don't want to start at the bottom. Why do I want to do that? I did my work experience at a beauty salon, and I just really didn't like the fact that that was my job, to make teas and coffees and clean stuff or whatever. I didn't see how that related to any of the stuff that I'd been reading up on for such a long time that I was interested in. So I didn't do it. I didn't pursue that avenue. But it's interesting how my life has gone from, I threw myself into corporate, I went on self-destruct mode, I worked around men, become really masculine, ended up in a really, string of bad relationships, terrible marriage, came out of that, found someone that gave me peace, started to work on myself, had a baby, went a little bit crazy again, found something I could get stuck into, started to build businesses, started to work on myself, threw myself back, it had this masculine energy again, took on loads of things, thought I could be the woman that had it all, that could do it all, and filled my days with stuff. And then 2020 happened, and I was forced to let go of all of that and to shed that identity and accept and realize that, yes, I no longer want to self-sabotage. It's one of the reasons why I've decided to stop drinking, even though I'm not that drunk anymore. But I understand that even one drink knocks my productivity, knocks my creativity, knocks my inspiration, dumbs me down, and I don't want that anymore. I'm 13 days in of not having a drink, and my creativity and my inspiration is through the roof. And I'm recognizing that's my message. That's my message. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to G people up and to push them into being the person that is burning the candle at all ends. I'm there. I'm here to teach you that my life was beyond destructive. But I can take you from destruction to peace. And I'm so excited about all of the ideas that I have in my head. It makes sense to me now why I created Soul Mood podcast, because it's connecting to your soul, to your inner being, to your source. It's helping you think more freely. I've searched for so long, all of my life, for what is this purpose? What is this purpose? What is this purpose? All I have ever wanted since I was a little girl is safety and peace. And it's taken me until I'm almost 35 years old to finally recognize that in every aspect of my life, my friends, my partner, what I listen to, what I'm drawn to, is all about safety and peace. And now I can give myself permission to embody that and teach you how. That literally sets my soul on fire. It makes me very excited for the future. So I hope that you got something from this. Even if it's just like, find that one friend that's going to keep you consistent. You know, we set a time, right? 6:30. We're gonna, we're gonna be 5 a.m. club. We're gonna start at 6:30. And then the next day we're going to start at 6:15. And then the next day we're going to start at 6. Tomorrow we're going to start at 5:45. And we're going to keep going until we get to 5. And then we're just going to be consistent there. It doesn't need to be a lot of you. It can just be you and one other person. It can just be you starting it and putting it out there into the ether. Does anyone else want to do this with me? I've literally been feeling amazing, just like what Stacey did. And then I reached out. Yeah, do you know what? I need this. I need consistency in my life. I need somebody that I can bounce these ideas off of and find and hone in on what my specialty is. Yeah. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with you. And as I say, don't forget, if you want to see these videos, you want to see me in my dressing gown and my pajamas talking to you right now, go to my link tree in my bio, Soul Mood podcast on Instagram, and you'll find a link on there to my podcast videos. You can see that. You can read my blogs that I've put on there so far. I will put more on there. I hope that this reaches you well, and if you think this is going to resonate with anybody else, please share it with them. Aoife's just walked in and I'm like, don't say anything just yet. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to doing this again soon. Speak to you soon.